I'm so nervous. And it's crazy because before I pressed record, I was really talking my shit. I was so hype. I was like, girl, you got this. Step into your power. You've been that bitch. You just got to own it now. And now I press record and it's like, holy shit. But here we are. So if you are new here, my name is Natalie. If you have been following me for a while, or at least since 2021, you have been a part of my podcast journey. I've spoken about all things personal growth, personal development, spiritual growth. I'm over it. And it's not that I'm not dedicated to personal growth anymore. It's not that I don't want to continue evolving and becoming a better person. I'm just tired of talking about the same shit. Like, how many fucking times do I have to tell people, heal, go to therapy, do the shadow work, read the books, look to God? Like, how many times can I say that? It's either you get it or you don't. And I think now I'm just in a space where I've gone through so many changes in the past year, and I'm stepping more into a place where I want to just be it. I don't want to talk about what I'm going to do. I don't want to make any more big announcements and then not follow through. One of the reasons why I took such a long break from podcasting, aside from like being tired of talking about the same shit, is I truly did not believe in the power of my voice. I did not have confidence. I always had a co-host or a guest, someone to lean on, someone to help me carry the show if there was awkwardness or if I was nervous or shy. And when I look back, I never needed anybody. And it's no shade and it's not to knock anybody that I did work with, but it's like I was always the star. I was always carrying the episodes. I was always structuring, creating the outlines, picking the topics, and then going off. I never needed anybody. And I think a lot of times we feel like we need a crew of people. We need a team. We need a best friend. We need our partners to help us through things. No, we don't. If I have the vision in my heart, it's there for a reason. I don't need anyone to help me follow through on that vision. I have everything that I need. I am capable of everything that I set my mind to. And that's kind of the mindset going into this podcast. I'm going to do this despite how nervous I am, despite how scared I am. And the clarity is going to come later. All of the things that I want, the following, the subscribers, the commenters, the engagement, whatever it is, it's all going to come later. I don't need to have everything figured out from day one. For the past couple of months, I have had this like gnawing feeling like get back into podcasting. I have a lot of shit to say and I'm always ranting on social media. So why am I not pouring my heart into this, especially when I started it more than 3 years ago. And I was so consistent with it. Like, why would I not continue? And the reason why I didn't want to continue is because I was scared. So this whole rebrand of the podcast is very personal and I'm very nervous, but it's due and I don't want to hold back anymore. I realized that when I was doing the podcast, I was still speaking my mind, but it's easy to speak your mind and kind of use personal development or being inspiring because that's positive, right? Like if you put out positivity, hopefully you get more positivity and people who are interested in that. And it's not like with this podcast, I'm not going to be positive, but I'm off that. I think I was just hiding behind like, okay, let me just be nice. And I'm on my Buddhist lifestyle, my Buddhist journey, and I am. But, let me just be calm, cool, collected. And yes, I am all those things, but I also like to crash out. I also get pissed the fuck off. I also have a lot of unpopular opinions that I want to share, and I really don't give a fuck how anybody takes it. And I want to curse. I want to curse freely and loudly and just be myself and just in a mindset of like, where am I going? What do I really want to do? And being really clear on my future and my goals, even with this podcast, like, what is my mission? And I've realized that my mission is to bring people together, to connect people, to inspire and to empower people, and to be an example of what doing it scared actually looks like. Something that was interesting is the other day I was thinking about doing this podcast and the anxiety was building up in me because I was so nervous just thinking about doing it on my own. And I looked at a video on YouTube. I like to watch like YouTubers just talking. Like I'm into that type of content and like giving self-help tips. And there was this one YouTuber, I don't remember her name. She was talking about confidence. And she was saying how People think that confidence is an internal thing. They think it's something that if you feel it inside, if you just say the affirmations, if you have the post-its up on your wall or your mirror, that's going to be enough to make you confident in life. And confidence is something that is a skill that you build externally by being scared and doing it anyway. Because the thing is that fear convinces you that if you do that thing you're scared of, something bad is going to happen. And so in order to protect yourself, you will run away from it and you won't even do it, or you'll think of every excuse in the book to not move forward. Whereas confidence comes when you're scared and you just do it and you show yourself, oh, wow, I was scared, but look, I did it and nothing happened. I'm still alive. Now I feel good. I feel like I could do it again. And that's really all I had to do with this was rip the Band-Aid off. So that's what we're doing right now. All right. So that's my little spiel. That's my little rebranding speech. And now I want to get into today's topic. So today's topic, I want to talk about how to build confidence. And one of the things that I think helps me build confidence is living my life by my rules and not budging on the things that I need to do or the things that I need to accomplish. So I'm just hoping that if you are in a place where you're lacking confidence or you're afraid or you have some anxiety about doing something, I'm hoping that as I go through some of these things, it empowers you a little bit and you can stand in that power and push through and do whatever it is that you want to do. So first thing is to make yourself a top priority. And if you're anything like me, right, then you are also this type of person, a chronic people pleaser. I have lived my life to please others all the time, even if it meant that I had to sacrifice my own needs and wants. It didn't matter. It's like as long as everybody was pleased with me, I could go to sleep at night. It didn't matter if I was stressed, if I was tired, if I was overworked. It did not matter as long as everyone was pleased. I no longer do that, even especially in my relationships, because of course, you want to please your partner. There's always that fear as a woman, like, oh my God, like if I don't do it, another woman will. And yes, that's a whole other conversation. But at what cost? And then you also have to understand, like, anyone that is okay with me depleting myself, sees that I'm drained and continues to take and take, that's not a person I want in my life anyway. No one in your life should be exhausting you. And if you feel like there are people in your life exhausting you, take the proper steps to distance a little bit because you need to make yourself a top priority. What does that look like? I always have a conversation with myself first. What do you think of this? How do you feel about it? Okay, now what are we going to do about it? What do you actually want to do? Don't make decisions based on how someone else feels or what they're going to think. No, make yourself a top priority. What is it that you need to do to become the best version of yourself? And do that. Next thing, this one is important. Okay, this one is probably my favorite and it's very important. Live your life based on your timeline and no one else's. Live your life based on how you see your life being in the future. That is something personal between you, yourself, and God, if you believe in God, or the universe, if you believe in the universe, the stars and the moons, I don't know. Live your life by your rules. And here's what I mean by that. For the entirety of my 20s, even my early 30s, I have had people constantly tell me, you should be a mom by now. You should have been married already. Like you should have had 2 kids already. Don't you want to get married? Don't you want to have kids? Don't you want to settle down and stop all the extra stuff with the podcasting and the events? Like, why are you doing all of that anyway? And I used to take it really personal. But I have realized that when people say things like that, they're projecting from their own limited view of what success is. You may define success as like traveling the world or podcasting or being a fashion designer or whatever it is, an entrepreneur. And other people define success differently, right? Like there's people who think that they're successful because they're married, because they have kids. And that's fine. Like I'm not here to judge anyone's like version of success, but I set my own metrics. I don't allow people to judge me for what it is that I want to do. And I've had people make comments like, oh, your priorities are just different. You live a life that's different. I do. I don't acknowledge people who feel like they need to tell me something negative about the way that I'm living my life. I live on my own timeline. I know what I want for my future. I don't care about having kids. And as much as I want to be married, I want partnership. And I want to make sure that I'm married to the right person. A lot of people, they talk about, oh, I want to get married, I want to get married. But all they talk about is the wedding and the dress and the kind of food or the kind of music or the kind of vibe. They don't talk about the commitment long term. They really don't know what goes into a marriage. And a lot of people who are married are miserable. A lot of people who have kids are miserable. Just because you have kids and you're married doesn't mean that your life is amazing. And it's no judgment. Like if you're married with kids and you're happy, great. I love that for you. If you're an entrepreneur and you're happy and you're single, no kids, I love that for you too. Me personally, if I want to have kids, they'll come in the future if I decide that, if my partner and I decide that. And marriage is in my future, but I'm not thirsty for it. And I also don't think that that's the be all end all for me as a woman. And I don't think that that's really an example of success to me. Like, to me, I find that boring. I find housewives boring. I find mothers who stay home all day boring. That's my opinion. Like, I think if you live that life, I think you're bored. But again, my opinion, I don't say that to them. I'm saying that here because I don't give a fuck. This is my show. But I truly think that that shit is boring. But they may look at me and be like, you're doing too fucking much. You need to sit down and have kids. And that's fine. But I don't internalize it. I don't take it personal. I look at people's lives and I see where they're giving me the advice from based on their own lived experiences. And I take it with a grain of salt. There's something that's interesting that you're probably going to hear me say a lot is consider the source, right? Whenever somebody tells me anything, I look at their life and I'm like, are you really somebody I should be taking advice from? Because I don't want to live like you. I don't want anything that you have. Like, I'm not jealous of you. I don't admire you. You don't inspire me. So anything that you're telling me, I take it with a grain of salt. Because if you wouldn't want to be that person for one day, not even 1 hour, why would you even get offended by anything they tell you? Doesn't make sense. Next, I block and leave. I do not cause turmoil or bring insecurity or anything into my life by stalking people from my past, by even holding on to friendships or relationships that no longer serve me. I block you. And I don't just one day wake up and I block you out of my life. No. If I really see that we're not vibing, we're not in alignment, we've been arguing, you don't really fuck with me the way I fuck with you, there is no last conversation. There is no closure conversation. I block and I leave. And you will never have access to me again. To me, it's like I do not have the energy space to deal with bullshit. We are grown. If we are not seeing eye to eye, it is what it is. I don't even need you to tell me that we're not seeing eye to eye. I don't even need you to keep it a buck with me. You can continue acting weird. I'm going to leave you in that weirdo space that you're at. And I'm out. And I continue moving forward and moving on with my life. And I continue succeeding and being the best version of myself. I'm not going to lie. Every now and then I may revert back to some toxic behavior, but I check myself quick. I check myself very quickly because it's not worth it. And once you start moving like you're better than a lot of shit, because you are better than a lot of shit, you end up having more confidence in your decision because you're protecting yourself. It empowers you to protect yourself and to not let anybody fuck with you or play with you, period. So block and leave, we're done. And the last thing is I don't internalize horrible treatment from other people. I literally do not care. And what I mean by this is I used to go to a lot of events in my early 20s. And at the time, I was very socially awkward. I was very just not comfortable in my own skin, not confident at all. And I wanted everyone to like me. So if I went to a party and there was a group of girls that were being very cliquey and not really welcoming or trying to talk to me, I used to take it so personal. And I used to think that there was something wrong with me. You know, I used to be like, oh my God, they think I'm stupid. Maybe it's because of my outfit. I'm probably dressed really badly and they think I'm a loser. Like I literally would create all of these stories in my head about why I was being mistreated. And really the story was, they're just fucking bitches. That's it. They're just fucking bitches. And it's a reflection of how they are. Not a reflection of me, not a reflection of my outfit or my personality. And I think that's one of the reasons why I got into hosting events And why I am so like, yes, come. Like, bring your friends, bring everybody. Like, we're going to have a good time. And I like to bring people together because I want to be the opposite of the way that I've been treated. But regardless, I don't internalize it. I make it about them. It's a reflection on how they move through the world. It's a reflection of how they want to establish relationships with people, whether positive or negative. And that's fine. It has nothing to do with me. Now I go to places, and whether you speak to me or not, I literally do not care. I'm a vibe by myself. I'm going to have fun by myself. And I want you to remember that it's more important to attract people who are on your same vibe, who respect you, who are genuinely interested in you, than trying to be friends with people who literally do not give a fuck about you and don't want to put any effort to get to know you. Fuck those people. That's really all I have to say. My camera's about to cut off. Thank you so much for rocking with me again. And I'm in it right now. So you can expect more episodes. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys.